Oncology Pharmacist here, watching Apothecary Diaries episode 10 with you. Just like the protagonist Maomao, I'm also a pharmacist and I'm also from China. This episode is called Honey, and while it sounds like something that's sweet, warm, and inviting, it could potentially be a deadly poison, and I'm about to confirm with you whether that's true or not. Her baby died too? Wow, there are so many dead babies in this palace. So we've got her baby, Lady Lihua's baby, Lady Gyokyo's baby almost died. It was a close call. Thank God Mama was there to save her. Wait, so right now in this rare palace, the only baby alive is Lady Gyokyo's baby? Or at least she's the only one being portrayed in this show so far. That is kind of crazy if in the whole rare palace there's only one living baby. They really need to get to work. As the concubine, it is kind of your job to continue the bloodline. And to be honest, if the emperor has run out of concubines that are fit to bear children, he really needs to hire new ones. And I use the term hire because it is actually true. The concubines that used to live in the Forbidden Palace would get actual monthly salaries. They would get paid in the currency of silver, depending on their rank. Obviously, the higher the rank, the more money they would receive from the palace. And the money they receive, they can use to give as gifts to their own servants, and they can send this back home to support their families. There's a new feature on YouTube called Hype, and it really helps out small creators like me. While you're watching my video, watch out for the Hype button underneath, and please hype my video if you really like it. Also, most of you watching aren't even subscribed, so make sure you subscribe as well. Yeah, it is sad, but it is kind of true. The very famous Emperor Kangxi from the Qin dynasty, apparently he had the most children. 56 in total, and 35 of them were sons. So as you can imagine, a lot of them were fighting for the throne. So there was this highly dramatized period of Chinese history that were made into countless books and TV dramas, and it was termed 9 Dragons Fighting for the Throne, which means Kangxi Emperor's 9 most prominent sons. And you might be surprised that these weren't the eldest 9 sons. Some of them were a lot older, and some of them were a lot younger compared to each other. But they all had their own unique assets. Like for example, some of them were really good at leading troops to the war. Some of them might be really good at archery, or some of them are really good at politics. Okay, interesting. Actually, there have been many times in real Chinese history that there were certain prominent women, either the queen consort or the empress dowager, that exerted heavy influence on the current politics at that time. For example, the really famous Empress Do from the Han dynasty, and that was like before 150 BC, which is crazy. So not only was she the empress while her husband was in reign, after he died, her son Liu Qi became the emperor. So she became the new emperor dowager, but she had a lot of power in the court, so her son actually had to listen to her. And even when her son died and her grandson became the emperor, so she became the great empress dowager. So, you know, right now, Lady Gyokyo might just look like she's innocently writing letters to send to her family. But you never know, you know, with insider information that her family receives, and if the family is rich and powerful, if one day they decide to use this information to turn against the current emperor, or even to do something that the emperor might not want them to do, this could be something that they can use to their advantage, right? By having one of their daughters in the palace with insider information. Alright, you guys told me you like to listen to ancient Chinese history as well, so I'm just gonna go all out and I'll make comments on them whenever I can. Okay, one little detail that I noticed, it sounds like Lady Li Shu is speaking in polite Japanese terms, which is, oh, what it's called? Like keigo, is that right? But it sounds like Lady Gyokyo is speaking back to Lady Li Shu in just casual Japanese. This is super interesting because I thought both of them were the same rank, and normally I do believe, at least in the ancient Chinese dramas I've seen, if you guys are the same rank, then you usually speak to each other in the same language. Like if you use the polite form, then the other person would also use the polite form. Obviously, if there's a big rank difference between the two, then one would be speaking the polite form, then the other one could speak in casual form. Interesting. Maybe it's also because of the age gap between them. Lady Gyokyo is older, so Lady Li Shu, seeing that, you know, she's like the elderly, well, elderly make her sound really old, but there is an age gap between them. If you guys also notice, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. What? Wait, why is she looking scared again? Is she allergic to this as well? I mean, the only 2 ingredients here, or the 3 ingredients here, are water, orange peel, and honey. Well, I guess if the title's name of this episode is honey, I'm sure she has a problem with the honey. Or maybe this drink that Lady Gyokyo served just has such a horrible taste, it is not living up to her royal palate. Well, we won't know until we give it a try and find out. So the recipe to this sounds pretty simple. It's orange peels boiled in honey. I bought some oranges, and these are actually Chinese oranges to keep aligned with the theme. And I've got some honey here, so let's do this. Okay, let's start by boiling a pot of water. So according to what Lady Gyokyo said, it's just orange peels. I'm gonna use a peeler to get all of these. Apparently, we don't want to get any of the white stuff because that part can taste bitter. So we're just gonna try to gently peel off the orange part here. Oh, it smells really fragrant actually. Can any of you peel fruits without a peeler? Oh, this would be really good to make it old-fashioned. Get some nice whiskey, block of brown sugar. All right, one down. You know when some people peel an apple, they can actually peel the apple skin continuously without breaking. Those are some mad skills. I can't do that. All right, second one done. We have a sort of healthy amount of orange peels in our bowl. Oh, would you look at that, it's perfect. Our water starts to boiling too. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn that down to medium-low, and so I'm gonna pour all that in. It actually does smell really fragrant. Oh, and my water is starting to turn a little bit golden color. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but I'll show you in a second. Oh, meanwhile, let's eat these oranges. Let's see if they are any good.
It's kind of sour.
And I can't really handle sour things. I have the biggest sweet tooth ever. I drink my bubble tea sometimes 120% sweet. Yeah, don't judge me, okay? But worry not, we're gonna add honey to our final product, so it's gonna be sweet. I think that looks pretty much done. Can you see through all of the steam? Look at that. And it does smell really good. So let's pour that into our teacup. Ooh, can you see? Let's have a side-by-side comparison with the anime. And now we're gonna add our honey. This is actually empty. Let's use this new jar. I don't have a fancy like honey dipper, so I'm just gonna use a spoon. Excuse my peasantry here. I'm gonna get 1 heaping spoonful of honey. I'm gonna stir that in. All right, that's completely dissolved now, and it smells really fragrant. I can smell the citrusy from the orange peels and the fragrance from the honey. It's actually really good, guys. I'm surprised. I didn't expect myself to like it, but I really do. Okay, I guess we can eliminate the suspicion that this is just a horrible drink and Lady Lishu just simply doesn't like it. So there must be something else going on there. Let's go back to watching the anime. Oh my god, these are mean girls. This is super interesting. So Maomao noticed that Lady Lishu is acting strange, and she actually steps up and she becomes the one to bring it up that the tea should be changed. I mean, shouldn't the other taster bring this up too? She literally has this one job. I hope Lady Gyokyo or Island doesn't misunderstand Maomao. Sometimes in really delicate situations like this between two concubines, if you act like you're siding with the other concubine, your own master might see you as working for the enemy. Hopefully there's nothing strange going on like that. All right, let's keep watching. It's kind of nice saving your guests from embarrassment. So I mentioned in a previous video that honey shouldn't be given to any children under the age of 1. And a lot of you commented that I foreshadowed what's about to happen in this show, so I do feel a little bit smug about that. But just to prove it to you, let me show you. This is a jar of honey that my friend brought back from New Zealand. And as you can see on the packaging, it actually says, not suitable for children under 12 months of age. And plus, we've actually learned about poisons and antidotes when we were in pharmacy school. And yes, pharmacists actually work as the poison expert in hospitals. In our province, we actually have a poison hotline. Let's say in case you accidentally inhaled a lot of bleach, or if your child accidentally ate a Tide Pod, you can call this poison hotline for emergencies. And guess what? A lot of the times you might be speaking to a pharmacist.
では明日からザクロ級に手伝いに行ってもらえないか？
もらえないかと質問されたところで選択肢などないというのに。
Wait, she's being redeployed again? How many concubines has she served now? This is the third one, right?
華やかさや豊満さはないが、中性的な凛々しさがあって美しい。
She's pretty.
これで35ですか。誰かに似ているような。
Jinshi, right? I mean, they both have purple hair, purple eyes, this long, slender shape, and they both have this sort of unisex look. I mean, that's what I think.
それともアードー妃に生涯尽くすことを選んだのか。新たな妃が腰入れしようという今、上級妃の立場が最も危ういのは。
Okay. Okay, interesting. I guess Jinshi sent Maomao here because he wants to utilize her skills as sort of a detective combined with her apothecary skills to see if there's someone in this palace that poisoned Lady Lishu, even though he didn't state that in the open. I mean, Maomao is smart and she figured out that's probably what he wanted her to do here. It is though a little bit strange and probably out of the ordinary compared to real Chinese history that the emperor would have a new consort enter and right away give them a really high rank. Usually once every few months or once every year, the emperor would host this kind of like job fair. And then all the young women in the nearby cities would have to come and be selected to see if they're fit to become a concubine. Now, usually if the woman is cute, pretty, has a good age, and comes from a strong family, the emperor will grant them a higher rank, but not all the way up to, you know, where Lady Lihua and Lady Gyokyo is, because from the show, I'm assuming they're at either one of the highest ranks or if not the highest rank a concubine could have. You would start them somewhere down low, and if they come from a good family, they might be granted somewhere a little bit higher, but not all the way to the top, right? But if you're someone who is maybe not as pretty or doesn't have a strong family, you can still enter the palace as a concubine, but you would start from the bottom. I think the lowest rank is Daying, and then the second one is Changzai. Then you go to Guiren, and then you go to Pin, Fei, Guifei, Huang Guifei, you know, there's quite a few different ranks over there. It was all over your face, girl. Oh. Ah, okay, this is the part that I foreshadowed. So she was a baby and she got really sick from the honey that she ate, and then she was told by her nurse to not eat it again. Oh, okay. It kind of does make sense if you've had a traumatic childhood experience to it, but in reality, adults don't really get botulism poisoning from honey. This is because we have a mature digestive system and we have a lot of bacteria that's living in our gut. So the spores from the botulinum bacteria would have a hard time colonizing in our gut. But babies, on the other hand, don't really have a lot of bacterial growth in their gut yet. So if they take honey and if there's botulinum bacteria in it, the bacteria and the spores can start to easily live in their gut and produce toxins. But again, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, that's interesting. I did not expect that. And you know what's funny about this scripture here? You see all the words before and after are all in like this calligraphy style and you can't really read what they mean. And the words that really matter, let me just go back and see exactly what it's written. I think the words right before 罗门 is 官, which is a Chinese word for someone who is an official. So it's kind of like official 罗门. And then the words after it is called 追放, which means you've been exiled. All right, so we know that Maomao's dad used to work in the palace as a doctor. And because of something that happened with Lady Ado's kid, this doctor was exiled. This is great, guys. We ended the episode with more questions than answers. All right, hope this was interesting to watch. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more contents like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.